Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to share 3 deeply unsettling, creepy, and absolutely true school lockdown stories. Each one comes from real students who lived through moments that no child should ever face. Moments where the hallways went silent, the lights shut off, and the smallest sound could give away your hiding spot. The first story begins in a small suburban middle school, an ordinary place with bright classrooms, cheerful walls, and students worried about homework more than anything else. But one cloudy afternoon in late October, everything changed. It was 1:17 p.m. when the first announcement echoed across the hallway. The voice of the principal came through the speakers, shaky, nervous, and definitely not following the usual script. "Students and staff, please initiate a full lockdown. This is not a drill." Everyone froze. Teachers rushed to lock doors, turn off lights, and push students toward the safest corners of the room, in MS. Harper's 8th grade English class, the students huddled behind a bookshelf, squeezed tightly together. Some thought it was just another drill, but the moment they saw a mess, Harper's trembling hands and pale face, they knew this was something else entirely. One student, Emma, remembered hearing footsteps, low, heavy, dragging slightly, as if someone was limping their way down the empty hallway. It stopped right outside their classroom door. For a moment, everything went quiet. Dead quiet, and then came the sound of metal scraping against metal, like a crowbar being dragged along the lockers. The doorknob rattled. A long, low breath was heard from the hallway, like whoever was outside was listening for movement. Emma clamped her hand over her mouth. Someone next to her started crying silently. The shadow of a figure passed by the small crack at the bottom of the doors, lowly, as if the person was bending down to look underneath. The doorknob turned again, this time harder, and then, suddenly, there was the deafening sound of something slamming into a nearby locker. The students jumped, some biting their lips to stifle screams. The footsteps continued down the hallway, fading slowly, but never fully disappearing. They stayed in lockdown for 47 minutes. When police arrived, they discovered a man inside the building. Someone who wasn't supposed to be there. He carried no gun, no knife, but he had a crowbar and a backpack filled with rope, duct tape, and a notebook full of disturbing plans. No one knows what he truly intended to do, but it wasn't good. Emma still remembers the sound of the crowbar scraping against the lockers. She says it haunts her to this day. The second story takes place at a high school in Colorado, late in the evening during a winter choir rehearsal. Only a handful of students were inside the building, scattered across the music department. Snow was falling heavily outside, and the sky was already dark. Most teachers had gone home, and the remaining staff consisted of the choir director and a janitor. Around 6:45 p.m., a thunderous bang echoed through the hall, so loud that everyone jumped. It wasn't a door closing, it wasn't something falling, it sounded like a gunshot. The choir director immediately moved the students into the instrument storage room, locking the door behind them. The janitor made a call to the office, but no one answered. When he stepped into the hallway, he heard another loud bang, followed by what sounded like someone running, fast, too fast. Inside the storage room, the students huddled together, listening. There were no announcements, no instructions, only silence. One student texted his mom. Another tried calling 911, but had poor reception. The building's old ventilation system allowed sound to travel strangely, and through the vents, the students heard something chilling. Deep, heavy breathing echoing from somewhere in the school. A slow inhale. A slow exhale, too rhythmic to be normal, too loud to be natural. Then came laughter, not joyful laughter, not friendly laughter, but a low, broken cackle that seemed to come from multiple directions at once. The janitor, trying to be brave, stepped toward the source of the noise. He reported that he saw a man with a thick winter coat walking with an erratic limp, dragging something across the floor. The man didn't seem armed, but he was muttering to himself, repeating the same sentence over and over. "Where are they hiding? Where are they hiding?" When police finally entered the building, they found footprints in the snow leading to a broken emergency exit door. The strange man had never been identified, and there was no explanation for the gunshot-like bangs. No shell casings, no weapon, nothing. The only trace left behind was a set of wet footprints and a single glove soaked in melted snow. To this day, the school staff believes the noises weren't gunshots at all, but someone violently slamming doors in an attempt to draw students out. And then there's the third story, one that still terrifies students from a small town in Ohio. It was a warm spring afternoon. The final bell had just rung, but a group of fifth graders stayed after school for an art club meeting. The teacher supervising them, Ms. Kelly, was known for her calm and gentle personality. But that day, something shattered her calmness. At exactly 3:22 p.m., the school's fire alarm went off. But here's the thing. Fire alarms don't usually activate during after-school activities unless someone pulls them. And when Ms. Kelly checked the hallway, she saw red glowing lights flashing. But no smoke, no fire, no reason at all for the alarm to go off. The office phone rang. It was the assistant principal whispering urgently, "Get into lockdown, now, don't question me." The art students hurried into a corner of the room as the lights were shut off. Ms. Kelly locked the door, pushed a large shelf in front of it, and told the children to stay absolutely silent. Then they heard it. A slow, rhythmic tapping on the wall outside the classroom. Tap, 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 too steady, too intentional, like someone counting the rooms as they passed. One of the kids, Lily, whispered that she had seen a tall man in a hoodie in the parking lot when they arrived that day. No one had thought anything of it then. The tapping continued, closer, louder. The students huddled together, clutching each other's hands, their breathing shaky and terrified. Ms. Kelly silently dialed 911 as the tapping stopped. Right outside their door, and then they heard a whisper. A voice on the other side of the door said, "I know you're in there." The children froze. The doorknob moved, slowly, deliberately, turning left. Then right, then shaking violently. The shelf pushed forward slightly as if someone was pushing from the other side, and then everything went silent. Minutes passed like hours. When police arrived, they searched the entire building but found no intruder. No signs of forced entry. No fingerprints, nothing. But footage from the school's parking lot security camera showed something chilling. At 3:21 p.m., just 1 minute before the fire alarm went off, a tall figure in a dark hoodie walked toward the school doors. But here's the disturbing part. The doors never opened. The figure simply disappeared from the camera frame as if it stepped into the building, without opening the door. To this day, no one knows who or what that figure was. And the students who lived through that lockdown remember the whisper the most. They swear the voice didn't sound entirely human, almost like it was layered, as if more than one person had spoken at once. These stories remind us how quickly an ordinary school day can turn into something terrifying. Lockdowns are meant to protect students, but sometimes what happens during them leaves behind memories that last forever. And while these events ended without physical harm, the psychological impact is something the students will never forget. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy true stories. I'll see you all in the next one. Stay safe and stay aware of your surroundings.